Hello, my name is Draconicrose. Welcome back to Equilinox. Today we are continuing on our journey to create biodiversity and loveliness. So, let's look at our task. So we have evolved water cups, so we can claim reward and tasks. So let's see what else we have. Control a sheep. You can take control of animals and have them move around if you wish. Click on a sheep, go to the Actions tab, and select the Take Control option. Check the Controls tab for information on how to control the animal's behavior. So let's grab a sheep. That's a grass stuff. Here's a sheep. So this, and we take control. And we can see the Controls tab that we can move with WASD, in which A and D turn the sheep around, S does nothing, and W makes it move forward. You can sprint with the Control key, and we can make noise with the E key. Okay, but when we cancel, and when it wakes up, the sheep will go right back to where it spawned. So it's kind of not a cheap way to transplant stuff. Okay. Sheep, we've unlocked the button mushroom and the mushroom mastery task. Nice. Okay. What's next? Under the sea and an apple a day. Now, an apple a day means that we need to evolve apple trees. Some trees and bushes can produce fruit once they are fully grown, and the fruit will periodically fall off the tree onto the ground where it can be eaten by animals. For this task, you'll need to get a sheep to eat an apple, which drops from apple tree. Now, we have button mushrooms here. They did not spread any biomes, but they do enjoy living everywhere, like trees. I prefer an altitude below 60 meters, which is okay. But I did learn something during my solo plays, and that is that we really should help populate areas with more of the species. That is fine there for now. I do want to come here and select like one of these. As you can see, they evolve into apple trees. But it needs a biome that is more than 10% forest and a satisfaction of over 50%. So let's use our biome picker. You can see we have some woodland here because of all the rosemaries, I suppose. But no forest, so the grasslands. Yeah, okay. There's this area here, which I think is a good place to start making a forest. You may have noticed this. This is the delete bush. It's pretty big. And basically when you use it, it will delete everything that's biological in that area. The best utility for it is, well, first of all, carving like a little spot for you to build a new biome, but second of all, you can just select a thing, go to the Controls tab, and either remove it, which just removes it, or remove many, which or remove many, which will give you a brush just like this one, but that will remove only oak trees. Alright, so we want to create a forest biome, so we want to get any species that spreads forest. In our case, all we have is the rosemary. The rosemary is the most basic forest plant in Equilinox and can be used to start creating a forest ecosystem. This fragrant herb grows best when surrounded by trees. While it prefers fertile areas, it's also able to grow in barren land. It cannot grow too close to water, however. So we are going to grab our rosemaries, and we are going to start using it to create a nice forest biome around here. And we'll keep it close to liked species. There we go. So this area here should now be a lot of forest. Perfect. So our tree is still happy, but now we have unlocked the evolution to apple tree. We just need the diversity points to do it. So as you know, diversity points, you get it from having animals. And in our case, we might benefit from having a little bit more sheep. So let's speed up time a little. And I'll let you watch the sheep here. And we can put a white sheep in the middle of our grey sheep population. Okay. So it'll help us just generate that little bit more of the diversity points every minute. This area is also looking a bit sparse on sheep. For some reason they have plenty of grass and stuff. Yeah, their environment is good. And there's any grass stuff. So I don't know what the problem there is. They're certainly thriving a bit better over here. But now that we have a little bit more giving us points, we need to speed up the game again. And we can watch all of our populations, including our chickens. Which, as I've learned, they are not going to spread inland from there. Okay, so that should be enough to get us our apple tree. Hopefully this tree isn't too old, but if it is, it's okay because it's already spawned another one over here. That's good. We can fill this area with apple tree. Over here we have way too many chickens and, in my humble opinion, not enough wheat. So I'm going to remove the filter and start adding a bit more wheat to support the growth of our chicken population. Aren't they lovely? Here's their eggies, which are pretty neat. Some wheat growing over there. Ah, look at the little chickens. They're so cute. It's too bad that they won't spread out on their own. I really wish the biomes, like, but if it's ever so slowly, they could spread out. But no, they kind of start where you put them, they split just a little bit, and nothing else. But now our tree is evolving. Well, there are black sheep in families, but the white sheep is the black sheep of the family. Oh boy. That is not ideal. So what other tasks do we have while we are waiting for our tree to become an apple tree? Well, we have this one. Start breeding and diversifying grassland plants, flowers and trees to create some beautiful and lush meadows. Unlock new species, and blah blah blah. But these take a little bit of diversity points that we don't have yet. What we can do is start the under the sea task. Now that we have a seaweed species, you can start to spread wildlife under the water as well. Start a new underwater ecosystem by placing the seaweed in some sufficiently deep water and wait for it to spread, creating a new river biome. We're going to use the accumulated diversity points. I want to call the DP something either not safe for work or display picture. Anyway, we are going to find suitable environments for them, kind of like every other square, and we're going to start spreading out our river biome. And we're going to need quite a bit of it. And I do want to spread it out all the way over here because we'll get things like ducks and other river creatures. So we definitely need to go over there. You can see more or less, especially if I zoom out, that the game has this grid, and like there's a cross on the grid. I don't know if it's like a real grid or not, or if it's used in the calculations. I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of helps me map where I want to put things. There we go. We have the under the sea task because our seaweed has spread out a little bit, and they're definitely creating the river biome here. I think it's interesting that fireflies just show up. At least I think those are fireflies. Just show up and go. Maybe it's pollen? Not entirely sure. But I think those only show up at night. I think they are supposed to be fireflies. Now this tree is still evolving and it will make it to apple soon. And here we go. We have our first apple tree. I'm going to put it right there. So our first apple tree needs habitat, light species, animals. So it needs some animals. And we are going to give it a sheep. Yeah, I'm going to put a sheep there to start a new population because sheep can evolve into wild boars, which will enjoy those apples a lot. And besides that, we need sheep to eat the apples that will be produced later. So there is that. Okay, now our river biome has had time to spread about a bit. We can even check it. It's a riverbed, 71%, 70 something. Could be better, could be worse. But we have a new task unlocked. If it... Hello? There we go. Never encountered that bug before. But anyway, we have gone fishing. For this task you need to create a complete underwater ecosystem with multiple species of fish and seaweed. You'll need to unlock all the tier 2 species of fish and water plants first, then use them to create a balanced ecosystem. Trout, redfish, kelp and water lily. Now, we have trout. That's our tier 1 species. Excuse me. And we have the seaweed, which is our tier 1 plant. Now they both evolve, obviously. So the seaweed evolves both into kelp and into water lily. Kelp being the first and easier to get one. So size trait 1.4. As usual, we go and find a size with our trusty little search tool. Let's see. We need 1.4. Well, here's a good one. We want to selectively breed this one to have a little bit more of a... yeah, that. We'll buy it out, and we're going to hope that it breeds into a 1.4 size seaweed, which is what we need. And we also need large rocks nearby, so we can also do that. Stones... Where are... well, I can look here, like rocks, large rocks. Here we go, rock is a large rock. So we're going to put, well, 1. So it wants 2, but we'll put 2. And we'll put 1 and then 2. That is what we are doing for now. Let's see what we have here. So, daisies, yellow daisies. Did our blue ones kind of get lost in the thingy? I'm not entirely sure if selectively breeding without making any changes actually helps spread out the traits of that animal. I guess that will be confirmed sooner or later by the dev, or by players who like testing things out in games. Yes? Yes. Okay. Let's look over here. This apple tree sapling is not having the best of days. How's your environment? Suitable biome? 37%. Woodland trees. Trees, plants, it requires forest or woodland. Okay. So it wants more forest? Yeah, I suppose. Let's add more lives in biome. Red's biome forest. And more rosemary around here. Oops. Yeah. There's a lot of waiting for... Oh, poor thingy. Take control of you. Let's rush you. We're here to the grasslands for now. And eat some grass stuff. Yep. There you go. Nom nom nom. But it should go back to its original area. Yeah, there it goes. It'll be okay once this apple tree is grown enough. Because the apple tree will provide food for the plants. I guess I can. No, I cannot. They are very expensive. Better let them spread out on their own. So let's look at what's been happening here with our seaweed. Somehow, all the seaweed that was over here just completely moved away. However, let's look at the sizes here. Up here's a good one. I'm going to get the game to prefer you and you. Good. And the other ones came over to this side. Oh, look at this one with huge sizes. Yeah, let's have those big ones. Here we go. Very good. But I kind of need seaweed over here. Oh boy. Let's go back and grab the rock. And put one there. And we'll see, eventually some seaweed will come close enough. Oh, there we go, here's the kelp, which is ready to start breeding. I'll probably want more rocks around, now that I think about it. And here's a feature that would be useful. So, let's say I want to put in... chickens are not a good because they're tier 1, so they're on the first page. But let's go use my apple sapling as an example. If I want to place another apple sapling, I have to come over. I have to look over all of this. Here's a tier 2, so I have to look, and imagine I had this all on. Oops. Imagine I had this all unlocked. Till I finally find my apple tree. A much more elegant solution would be grab the apple tree, come to controls, and place more or something like that. So Sheepy is once again hungry. That is to be expected. I could just add a few grasses over here. They'll start spreading the grassland biome, but I think they're close enough to the sheep place that they might come graze on them. Yeah, poor thing is really hungry. Let's hope they find grass and food. Look at the baby following its mother. We'll eventually see if they survive or not. Anyway, we have... disable this. We have evolved a kelp, and they really like being around the stone, so I'm going to leave it like right here in the middle where it's nice and cozy. But of course we want to put more of them in the world. So actually, before we do that, a second-tier seaweed plant that grows underwater. The kelp helps improve the quality of a riverbed biome, which many fish and water animals require. It can grow in both fresh and tropical water, so it spreads the riverbed biome, which is great. And it likes rocks and stones. So the kelp will be very useful to keep like around here at the bottom. We'll let it grow. Now, the other thing we had to evolve was the redfish. a little bit more, but it needs the color trait pink. We already have the nearby species kelp. This is the color trait pink, which means we need to start evolving trout with a pinkish color. We don't have any. But make one. So pink, we need a good bit more diversity points before we can get that pink going. So let's speed up the time. Hope our trout doesn't die in the meanwhile. There we go. Bye. I mean, even if it dies, it's not a big deal because we can just continue on from another trout. We'll find a small one, like here it is, to continue the evolution. Because that one is about to die. It's fine. Let's leave them be. Here's a pinkish daisy. Cute. We have pinkish ones, we have yellowish ones, and we have blue ones all around the place. Isn't that nice? Now this sheep is still pretty hungry. Or is it the child? Either way. But look, since the grass is spreading out, things are going well. We need more plants that spread forest. Forest. Yeah, the rosemary does spread. So we need to keep rosemary being more active around than the grass. We have good altitude for it over here. I need the diversity points to take over. Now, one thing that would be useful would be a hotkey to make the time go forward instead of making me have to come here. But that is what we have to do. It's fine. So this apple tree seems to be it's 95. So soon it will be mature enough to give us apple. There it goes. And once it does, we can make it drop all fruit, which means the hungry sheep will be eating the apples. So an apple a day has been unlocked, so that is our task. And also means we've unlocked the tall tree. An evergreen forest tree. This is the most basic forest tree and can be a great starting point for a forest habitat. This tree can't be grown in barren land, but only requires slightly fertile forest terrain to survive. So it's a tier 1 forest biome tree, and we do want it in place. So we'll put it over here. We are going to need it for more species. We'll leave it over there. Now let's go look at our trouts. Oh boy, I think our trout died. Let's grab a small one and let's start evolving the pink trout thingy. This game really is so relaxing. So what else do we want? Well, if we want to continue developing our river biome, we might as well just start grabbing things that live in it. In our case, we are going to want some barley, some wheat, and we are going to want a little bit of kelp. Yep, and we are going to also add some rocks over here to help our kelp out. Right, very good. Soon we will be able to transport species over to there. Right now we have this little petri dish of a lake, but unfortunately that seems to be it for this episode. Join me next time where we continue to evolve, unlock the biomes. of Equilinox. But until then, please remember that here, there be dragons.
Thank you so much to my patrons for making this channel possible. Click the Patreon logo to become one of these fine folk, and if you enjoyed the video, here are some more YouTube things you would like. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.